Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you all had a good weekend. If you're new here, please go ahead, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. This really helps out the channel. So today I'm going to do something a little different. Every time I make a video, there's always one or two clips that don't make it in. It's not that they aren't good, I have to cut for time. So today I'd like to include those clips and it'll kind of be a brush up on everything that we've covered so far. So with all that out of the way, that's what we got today. So let's check it out. We are live.
What I'm here to tell people is that when Project Bluebeam is used, again, it's not going to be by the United States. It's not going to be by national. It's going to be by global government. They're the ones who are going to use this stuff. And it's going to be not just a bunch of pretty holograms. They're going to be using it for religious figures. They're going to have Jesus in the sky, but it's not just going to be holograms. There's going to be voice-to-skull technology. It's also going to be used. They're going to be able to have these figures speak to every human being on the planet. Imagine the impact of that they're going to be able to see the figure and also hear the figure talking to them. You know, it's amazing. I think that is the particular reason why Jesus said in the Bible, my sheep hear my voice and they will recognize my voice. And I think that was an anticipation of when this operation goes forward. And it's going to go forward in conjunction also with the great fake alien invasion. It's going to go forward with that. And who knows, it's going to be also a sweetener. It's going to be, instead of, we're going to have, maybe 10 or 20 UAPs that have incredible destructive capacity against our cities. But then with Project Bluebeam, they can make those appear like 200 or 300 or 400 UAPs. See, that's what they can do. And also these holograms, we call them holograms because that's the word that we know. But they're gonna probably have the capacity for noise, for sounds, for solidity, temporary solidity as well. And then you can say, well, but then that's not a hologram. Well, yeah, it's probably going to be something that is several steps above a hologram as well. So these are the things that we're facing. And these things are going to be faced all at once. That's the reason why I try so hard.
Yeah. I do really feel like this is what we're gearing up for next. When? I don't know.
Few people know that cathedrals of old were actually massive energy conductors. The pipe organs they housed produced frequencies which vibrated at perfect resonance with the sacred geometry of our realm. These structures were able to emit a resonance which had healing and electrical properties, drawing upon the ether or atmospheric energy. The geometrical patterns found in the windows perfectly correspond to the vibration of water when put under a microscope, which corresponds perfectly to the sound these organs made. What if we were to tap into their powers and use them once more as they were intended?
I wonder that all the time. If we were using them in conjunction with the bells that they all took down, how much less sickness would there be in the world?
Here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that
Sure.
with the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and these little trees lined up, and it blows everything down. Yeah. Okay. So here's the question, right? So what happened? Okay. So this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
How is that happening yet the camera is like totally stable and fine?
Oh my god!
And by the way, and the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Oh my god!
And by the way, okay, we'll do this one. We'll do the loop one more time here. Let's see the car.
The car's right behind the house. It just showed up.
Oh,
okay.
It just showed up.
So wait a minute. First of all,
wasn't there.
First of all, where'd the car come from?
Yeah. No car.
The second is, does it really look like
car?
Does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
Is that a house or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model?
What?
Right.
Oh, that does look fake.
Because also the camera didn't move at all either.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the smoke is too big. Watch when it hits. Like the volume, like the size of it, it looks small.
I mean, you've seen.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks like we're looking at something that's like a few inches tall.
If you watch like making of Star Wars, any of the any movies before CGI, whenever they do anything like that, it's always with these tiny models.
Yes. Yeah, this looks fake as shit.
Let's get another one. It's like, okay, what the camera's fine.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it is a good.
You know, it's an excellent point too. There's so much deception, so many things that you don't question it, therefore you just kind of
The processed food industry was created by the cigarette industry. And I think this is very telling. It's something I learned. So in the 1990s, the two largest food companies in the world were R.J. Reynolds and Philip Morris. What happened is when the Surgeon General way too late in the 1980s said cigarettes were maybe problematic, these were some of the largest companies in the world with the largest cash piles of any company in the world. So what they did is they used their cash piles to buy food companies. We think about the 80s as the Wall Street era M&A, a lot of deals. The two biggest M&A deals up until 1990 in world history were cigarette companies buying food companies. So you had in the 90s, these two cigarette companies very strategically do two things. They shifted their thousands of scientists who were experts at making cigarettes addictive to the food department. So we had the rise of ultra-processed food where our food now is a science experiment. The second thing they did is they shifted their lobbying. So the cigarette industry, of course, was the biggest, lobbying spenders and had a good playbook. They shifted their playbook on lobbying and rigging institutions of trust to food. So they created the food pyramid. So the cigarette industry, through the food companies they bought, paid off the FDA, the USDA, Harvard to create reports saying sugar doesn't cause obesity. And they lobbied for the food pyramid in the 1990s, we all remember, which said, animal-based fats are bad, carbs are good. Remember, carbs and sugar were basically the base of the pyramid. So the American diet, because of that, because we trust our medical institutions, which they know, we shifted our diet significantly to ultra-processed food. It was very intentional, the food pyramid. That was a ultra-processed food marketing document that carbs were fine, sugar was fine. And that shifted, and you look at dietary patterns. Today, a child diet is 70% ultra-processed food. Now, what does that mean, right? Those are literally foods invented by the cigarette industry to addict kids. Obviously we've got sugar, but there's thousands of different ingredients and science concoctions that scientists work in a lab to make it more palatable, to make it more addictive. So food consumption, calorie consumption has skyrocketed. And the byproduct of these toxic ingredients that the cigarette industry I watched and helped with this, bought off the USDA, bought off the FDA, is they wreak havoc among our cells. The foundation of our diet is ingredients that we aren't biologically made to eat, that didn't exist 100 years ago.
Yeah, I've got an entire episode on this. It's probably one of my least viewed episodes. I highly recommend checking it out. It's a fascinating subject.
Have been mysteriously killed after exposing the government. Part 1. Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was a herbalist healer that had a natural cure for many diseases such as cancer, AIDS, and HIV. His remedies would shut down the pharmaceutical industry today. A cured customer isn't a customer. Stanley Meyer. Stanley Meyer invented the first water-powered car. He then had an interview with the car investors in a restaurant. He shortly died after the interview in front of his brother telling him, "They've poisoned me." His inventions were eventually taken away. This invention would shut down many oil companies today. Joan Rivers was a comedian and actor in Hollywood. She was known for comedic insults on other celebrities. However, when she told reporters that Michelle Obama was really a man, she suddenly died a few days later.
It's true. It's interesting stuff, but it's all true. Specifically, Myers. That's a fascinating story.
Researcher stands at the forefront of this intriguing field. NEMS is renowned for his creation of an innovative energy device known as Energy Vision, which, according to his claims, can photograph these mysterious entities. Dr. Daniel NEMS is a scientist with a background in quantum physics and energy research. NEMS devoted his career to exploring the intersections of energy, matter, and dimensions beyond our conventional understanding. He soon became fascinated by theories of parallel dimensions and alternate realities. Oddly enough, despite publishing these findings, there is a scarcity of information available on him, and the majority of his work has been wiped from the internet. As a result, some have suggested that shortly after sharing these discoveries, he vanished. Nem's interest in this research was partly inspired by the pioneering work of theoretical physicists who posited the existence of multiple dimensions beyond the familiar three-dimensional space. Driven by curiosity and a desire to push the boundaries of human knowledge, Nems began experimenting with novel energy devices aimed at detecting and interacting with these unseen realms. Energy vision, the groundbreaking device developed by Daniel Nems, represents the culmination of years of research and experimentation. The device combines principles from quantum mechanics, electromagnetism, and advanced imaging technology to purportedly capture images of entities existing in dimensions parallel to our own. Energy vision consists of a sophisticated array of sensors and emitters that generate and detect specific frequencies of electromagnetic energy. These frequencies are theorized to resonate with the energy signatures of these beings, making them visible to the device's sensors. The captured data is then processed by advanced algorithms to produce visual images, which are displayed on a high-resolution screen. The device operates by emitting a controlled burst of energy into a defined area and then scanning the area for any anomalies in the energy field. According to Nems, these mysterious beings interact with these energy fields in ways that are detectable by energy vision's sensors. The resulting images reveal shapes and forms that do not correspond to any known physical entities, suggesting the presence of beings from other dimensions. If the device's capabilities are validated, the implications for science and our understanding of the universe would be profound. The ability to photograph these entities would provide tangible evidence for the existence of parallel dimensions, supporting theories that have long been speculative. This breakthrough could revolutionize fields such as physics, cosmology, and even
Yeah, that's a very interesting one. It's just another example of someone disappearing when they find this kind of stuff.
Now I want you to get this straight. There is no difference between the chicken and the slave. You can get free-range chicken and you can get free-range slaves. Now let me break it down. You see this map? This is not the real map. This is the map that they show you to keep you a free-range slave. So if you want to go anywhere, you need a permit, you need a passport, and you and your family can have a jolly good time. But remember, you can only go to the places that they let you go. You can only go to the places that they show you on this fake map, because other than that, no authorized persons are allowed past that point, because certain places that are on and off the map, you're not even allowed to fly. So when you're up in the sky and you're wondering why the plane is taking the longest route to get to your holiday destination, is because the pilot has to avoid the no-fly zones, because the thing that they're trying to hide is that there's more land out there. I mean, there's places that you're not even allowed to go boating, and you know when man say you can't even go swimming, you know they're trying to hide something, and don't think you're smart and try to use your drone, because there's zones that you can't even use your drone. So all this time we've been living in the center of this map, not knowing that there's more land around.
That's the theory. I know it's a fascinating one too. The more and more I look into it, the more I think there's a lot of plausibility to this.
The guy who invented Bitcoin, I think his name's Satoshi or whatever, Satoshi. There is an interview with him where he is watching the video and saying, I never created this technology.
The reason I'm here is to clear my name that I have nothing to do with Bitcoin.
Well, there's 3-letter agencies and this agency, which is part of that. That's the part that's missing from it all. So they gave the crypto and the Bitcoin and all of this, they gave it a persona that this guy created it because he was going to rebel and he's going to fight the system. Well, you have to start to wonder, how did he have the technology? How did he get the infrastructure? And anybody who goes against the system is always taken out. If JFK, Gaddafi, Jackson, and Lincoln were all taken out because they opposed this system, why would Bitcoin or cryptocurrency stay around? Maybe there's a backdoor system. You know, it's all encrypted with 256-bit encryptions. Guess who owns a system who can decrypt or uncrypt, or whatever word you want to use, that system? Google. Google has a technology that came out in 2012 before all the cryptocurrencies went absolutely bananas. Must be just by chance, you know? Must be by chance.
Yeah, 100%. These guys do nothing nefarious. It's all legit.
In the 1920s, this device was banned by the FDA. It was taken outside of the clinics in which it was used and smashed to bits. The multi-wave oscillator was invented by a Russian-French engineer, George Lakhovsky. This was an extremely popular treatment during the 1920s and 30s. Lakhovsky's multi-wave oscillator consisted of a series of concentric rings or antennas connected to a high-frequency Tesla coil. When activated, the device emitted a wide spectrum of electromagnetic waves, including radio waves, microwaves, and infrared frequencies. According to Lakhovsky, these waves would interact with the body's cells, promoting health and vitality by restoring their natural resonance. This device gained significant attention and popularity, particularly in Europe and the United States. Lakhovsky claimed the device could rejuvenate cells, enhance the immune system, and even destroy cancerous growths by simply resonating the cells with their natural healing frequencies.
Very, very interesting.
They've not been showing you this. The Bermuda Triangle is hiding a secret, and no, it's not what you think. Almost 3 times bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, there is a gigantic crystal pyramid under the surface of that region. Here is where it gets rather unsettling. This pyramid's material and behavior isn't like anything we find here on Earth. It creates powerful natural electromagnetic fields, which may explain the accounts of planes and ships vanishing. This is where things get scary. In recently uncovered documents from a government whistleblower, it said that researchers believe that this pyramid was built by an ancient, super advanced civilization known as the Atlanteans. The document specifically mentioned that the Atlanteans had mastered interdimensional travel and built this pyramid as one of Earth's gateways to another realm. Due to the disappearance of the Atlanteans, it has since become unstable and has been the root cause of many mysterious disappearances. This explains why so many ships and planes have vanished without an explanation. It begs the question, where did these Atlanteans go and what happened to their vast technology?
This is a relatively new theory for me, so if anyone in the comments can shed any light on this, please do.
2008, DARPA announced a $3 billion program to create a metabolically dominant soldier. And then in 2015, The Atlantic, who used to tell some truths, wrote a story called Engineering Humans for War, inside the Pentagon's effort to create a super soldier and change the future of the battlefield. So check that out. A few years before that, in 2012, the Daily Mail published an article called Army of the Future. Soldiers will be able to run at Olympic speeds, won't need food or sleep with gene technology. This is in 2012. Hi TikTok. Let's talk about super soldiers. On July 18th, Russian parliamentarians spoke out about what they called secret experiments going on Ukrainian military members with the help of the United States. I'm bringing this up because several stories have come out since the 18th by the usual suspects in the mainstream media, trying to make the story look absolutely crazy, out of this world, completely bizarre, trying to brush it off as if there's nothing to it. These are the 2 parliamentarians in Russia that came out and talked about this. So in response to them, the Daily Beast came out with a story on the 19th of July, 2022, called Russian Lawmakers Blame Losses on Experimental Ukrainian Super Soldiers. And I wanted to bring this up because I've been doing independent research for at least 3 years now. And I have learned quite a lot along the way. I've learned a lot about DARPA and BARDA, and so I understand a whole lot more nowadays than I used to about what our military is not only capable of doing, but what they're willing to do. So all I want to do is lay out a few different headlines that have come out over the past decade and who wrote them, and then allow you guys to go and do your own research and come to your own conclusions about what you think is going on. Because honestly, I'm not really sure what's going on at this point. So interestingly...
Yeah, we'll be getting into more of that one. There's another clip that I will find on that one. It gets really interesting down this rabbit hole. So.
Your DNA is a right-handed double helix, made up of these four things right here. And the helix is held together by sulfuric bonds that appear after every 10 pairs of nucleotides, every 5 pairs of nucleotides, every 6 pairs of nucleotides, and again, every 5 pairs of nucleotides. 10-5-6-5, 10-5-6-5, or in the Hebrew alphabet, Yod He Vav He, the signature of your creator, the signature of an artist under his painting, if you will. Now, the magic potion, if you actually read the patents, it is adding a triple helix, and it is adding more of this, which comes from a meteorite or a fallen star. And this 10-5-6-5, Yod He Vav He, the signature of your creator, quickly turns into 10-5-6-6-6-5. Do I have your attention yet?
Do with that what you will.
Statue called the Statue of Liberty. It's holding the torch of illumination, which is the Promethean torch of Freemasonry. And if you go to the Statue of Liberty, you'll see a bronze plaque inside saying that this was given to the government of America by the French Grand Orient Temple Masons. And it is a symbol of Grand Orient Freemasonry in America, the holder of the light. And that's exactly the same torch that is carried during the Olympics. It is the torch of Prometheus.
It's not the torch of freedom.
No, it's not the torch of freedom.
Of the Illuminati.
Illumination. To add also that on the back of the Liberty dime, on the back of the old dime in America, there was the fasci, which you look in the encyclopedia or dictionary, you look up the word fascism, you'll see that the symbol for world fascism was a bundle of sticks, a bundle of rods with a hatchet head. That was on the back of the
Well, you see that
dime.
on each side of the speaker's podium at Congress.
Oh, absolutely.
So they have the fasci on each side.
Absolutely, and it's also the symbol for the United States Senate is the fasci. But the point I want to make is that was on the old dime. Now on the new dimes, you will see it has been transplanted a torch instead of the old fasci, because fascism was used at one time to prepare the world for the New World Order. Now the New World Order is in place. That's why on the dollar bill it says Novus Ordo Seclorum is New Order of the World.
Yeah, it's interesting. For the record, here in Canada, on our dimes, we actually have a ship known as the Blue Nose. But every once in a while, you'll get an American nickel or penny or dime in with your change, and it's kind of cool to see the differences in our currency with the coinage, because not a lot of people actually handle money these days. But yeah, so this is what I got today, guys. If you're new here and any of these subjects were intriguing to you, please check out some of my previous episodes. A lot of them are sort of have a thematic approach to a lot of these subjects. Some of them were new, trying to keep it fresh. But yeah, a lot of this stuff has been covered already, and we'll be covering more as we go and getting deeper as we go. But that's all I got today, guys. Thanks a lot for coming and hanging out with me. Please go ahead and check out the merch store. Link is in the description. Got some cool t-shirts for sale. If you're in Canada, though, with the Canada Post strike, you might be cutting it close if you're trying to get it for Christmas. I got to apologize for that. But anyways, I guess I will see you guys again in the next one. And until then, 80 Canadian. Signing off.